Alright, so welcome to this video right here, a little discussion podcast type deal thing. So this video is going to be going over, as you can see right there, that's GoldenEye, way back on the N64, back when we had to sit on the couch together, playing 4-player split screen, just play a game with one another. So then after networking came out and the internet got a little bit bigger, of course, this is the passive gaming, and how can you have the passive gaming without a little bit of Counter-Strike? The first game that I ever got, the pros involved in a pro league and the teams getting together and everything, and got networking to where people could actually play from house to house instead of having to be on the couch. It was one of the original games on the PC, and I'm pretty sure the Xbox, and like the original Xbox. Not quite sure if the PlayStation ever had Counter-Strike. I don't really know on that part. I got this idea from watching the Halo 2 documentary thing and seeing that Halo is one of the very first games that the Xbox Live ever supported. So right here you can see a little bit of Halo. This was the very first Halo right here, and it was the first time that anybody ever seen a vehicle combat along with arena shooter. Counter-Strike was an arena shooter also. This one took it pretty much space age and all that stuff, and really put down, so you had capture the flag and stuff like that instead of just TDM and whatnot, and it brought it to the Xbox and brought Xbox Live into people's homes even bigger, in a bigger way. It made a name pretty much for console gaming and arena shooters on the console. Gave it purpose to be there. So this is all the past, and in this video I'm talking about past, present, and future. And of course the other evolutionary game that really brought the MLG circuit to a very, very high point, and also brought the competitive multiplayer on, say, Xbox Live and stuff. When 360 came out, of course, one of the big hot games on there was Call of Duty 4, and it brought a different level of customization. So all of a sudden we had perks, we had different weapons, we had setups that we can make, and there was multiple ways of going into combat and everything, and it just made everything a lot more customized, so a lot more fun. So then you had to go into different situations looking at things a different way than just running in and shooting. It's probably the first time that Xbox Live became kind of a household name. Halo really helped out, getting it into the scene of competitive gaming. I feel like COD 4 was the first time that it made competitive gaming into a household name. So, of course, later on down the road, another evolutionary point in all that was the Battlefield series. Now, the Battlefield series, even back in the Bad Company days and stuff, it was it took the arena shooter and it just completely expanded it open in what I like to call a simulation game, where instead of having this arena style map, this short, small little map where people are constantly getting engagements and everything, Battlefield took it and brought it to a whole nother level of making it to where it's realistic. They made it into you could blow up buildings and stuff, and you could you're playing as a nowadays soldier instead of just like Halo where you're in space and all that stuff, space age soldier. So yeah, this is Halo 3 right here, and the reason why I added Halo 3 onto it, because I feel like that's where multiplayer on Battlefield peaked, and it was at its golden age. It worked very, very well. It was really cool seeing the big maps, awesome graphics on it, and it was, for its time back in 2011, it was probably the biggest thing out there running. It was, the most popular, well, I want to say the most popular, but of course, Call of Duty's around also, and it was, which everybody knows, Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and probably Gears back in the day also, have always been fighting for that top shooter spot. Now, of course, where Battlefield was bringing the simulation, then we had the other evolution, which started what the trend that we're seeing nowadays, which is the nowadays average soldier, but we brought it ahead a few years. So not taking it to space, but bringing in advanced technology and bringing to the table something new to play with, pretty much. Which Black Ops 2 did that in like the heat waves and the you've seen before the scope, seeing through walls and stuff. So taking a futuristic, not an over the top look at stuff, but just kind of a futuristic of like what could be possible in the future with the new technologies and stuff. Yeah, so I think of course Black Ops 2 was also it's been the first time where we've seen the Call of Duty series really, and of course Call of Duty series is one of the biggest series around. It's actually been marked as the biggest series in the world. It's in the record book somewhere. I forget which record book. It might be either Guinness Book of World Records or an online type of thing there. But I read it. I'm pretty sure it was off from IGN. They had a article about it. Saying that it is the biggest thing in the world. So Call of Duty, of course, being the biggest one in the world, started this trend of the future being in this kind of a renegade slash futuristic vibe to it, not too over the top like Halo does, but for the arena shooters at least, bringing something very quick and very fast paced and new to the shooter arena. So then, of course, we head back over to Battlefield, and this is, of course, Battlefield 4. One of the games that we are currently on. This is the present day multiplayer that we are on right here. So, Battlefield 4, I mean, what can you say about it? It's a lot of the same that we've seen from Battlefield 3. Of course, I mean, when you're making a shooter game, I think that's one of the things that a lot of developers nowadays is they're kind of stressing over it. Like, how can you make a shooter game and make it different, but not so different where your fans they get pissed off, because the fans, of course, are going to get pretty heated if it's not the type of game that they're looking for. Like, okay, Battlefield, like, it is realistic. Okay, is somebody going to drive a four-wheeler out the side of a building and whatnot? No, of course not. But that's the beauty of a video game. We can do that type of stuff and actually survive in the game. It is still realistic and everything. And I do like that Call of Duty and Battlefield are kind of taking that approach. And of course, another game that is present also is Titanfall. I do like that there are getting like differences, like arena shooter and a simulation shooter, because it does give you a little bit different ways of doing stuff. And of course, other games are spawning. If you get the pun there, like Respawn Entertainment's game of Titanfall it's Halo and Call of Duty put together, but that's people a lot of times are like, oh god, it's these two games put together. Why do they gotta do that? I can see in one point where everybody would be doing that, but at the same time, it's like, well, that's the popular thing. That's what's fun to do. It's not so bad, I don't think, if we have games doing stuff like this, because then it's a really cool matchup. You get to kind of see like if somebody likes Halo and somebody likes Call of Duty, and they always want to see a game that's a mashup of those two, check out Titanfall. It's kind of one of those cool little things right there. Are we going to be seeing more of these types of games? Oh, yes, we are. Titanfall is definitely one of those games that in the future you're going to be seeing a lot more games like it, which are games that are taken from the originals because the originals worked so well. So if somebody comes out with an original idea, another studio is going to take it. Now, Destiny, I find, is another one of those games. Like Borderlands did it before Destiny did. I know it. but I think Destiny is really the accepted one of. It's like kind of the peak in popularity of co-op, which is in the future. I feel like co-op games are going to become a lot bigger. People are starting to kind of, I don't want to say getting sick of multiplayer games, competitive multiplayer. They are. It feels like, for the most part, majority of people are just they're getting kind of worn out and they're getting tired of the multiplayer action. And it's it's just you getting burned out on it. I feel like a lot of people are, and it's totally understandable. Co-op games are very, very fun in their own way. An MMO style game like Destiny, excuse me, is that next evolution step of doing everything. Now, in the future, for stuff like Halo, I think, Titanfall kind of kept us in the competitive multiplayer because it was a competitive game with the storyline on it. We've seen Destiny, which was a very, very fun co-op game and everything. Not so much competitive-wise, unless you go into the competitive modes, but it was based around the storyline. Now, Halo, of course, it's got its multiplayer parts to it, but I feel like people are going to be wanting to kind of play more or less the story to it, just because it's something really fun that you can get on and do with your friends. It's not gonna piss you off in the middle of the night. It's not gonna get your blood racing because you are mad. It might be an adrenaline rush, if anything. But the future for shooters is still really up in the air. Who knows? If somebody comes out, if one of the companies comes out with a game that takes over Call of Duty and does Call of Duty better than Call of Duty does Call of Duty. I feel, because it is probably the biggest and most biggest shooter. I'll just say that. I don't want to say badass because that sounds biased. To me, I do think Call of Duty is, like, in the core of Call of Duty, is still really, really cool and everything. That's another one too. Remakes, the Master Chief Collection. I feel like that's going to be another big one, especially on the Xbox, because we got just the franchises that can be remade and still work really well. And of course, Nightfall also. That's I knew I kept this on here for some reason. Making stuff that's live action, like a TV show that incorporates in with a co-op game. Genius idea. It's so awesome seeing that. And of course, this right here. Okay, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Again, an evolutionary point, especially for Call of Duty franchise itself. But the futuristic style of Call of Duty that it's been going into and everything now. People should really see it coming. I know a lot. Hell, when I first seen Advanced Warfare, my first thought was just like, no, I don't like it. It's bad. Just get it off the screen. That's not Call of Duty. I don't like that Call of Duty or whatever. And now that I've actually had a chance to sit down and play it and whatnot, it's not that. It's I don't hate it. Now, I really do like Advanced Warfare. It's just the servers. I can't not do anything because the servers, at this moment that I'm making this video, the servers will not work right. And it pisses me off so badly just because I really do like Advanced Warfare. When I got my hands on the game finally, and I saw the MLG guys playing it and everything, it made sense. It really started to make sense for me, because then I was like, yeah, you know what? Multiplayer gaming, in the arena, and even Battlefield, one of the new DLC packs for Battlefield had like hover tanks and stuff in it. So it's just the evolution of where gaming is going. We've seen for years and years and years and years. We've seen like the full-on realistic military shooters and everything. We've seen World War II. We've seen Vietnam. We've seen, what it's like to be over in Iraq and Afghanistan and everything. So that crossbow is cool. The next step in multiplayer is going ahead to the future a little bit, because I mean it's kind of uncharted territory, and it's really the most uncharted territory that you can get into, just because it's the future. It's not happened yet. There we go. It has not happened yet. Yes. And who knows what the future can hold? I mean, they could come out with some pretty cool stuff if we keep on the trend of the future. And now I throw the Division in here, which is, I know, shocking, a third-person shooter. I know, it's crazy. The third-person shooter. Now, done like Gears. Now, Gears is another very, very fun multiplayer game. There's certain stuff like the shotgun that I'd never liked myself. That's why I don't play so much Gears multiplayer. But the third person campaign, mission stuff, I do feel is the other way. Like co-op is more or less, I think, the future of gaming, online gaming. I would almost want to say gaming overall as a whole, because it is, I mean, if you got the right, like me, I hate playing games with other people, but like me and Golden Viper, I love going through a game with Golden Viper. It not only is a father and son time, but at the same time, like, he goes at a slow enough pace to where I like, to play alongside him. And that right there, I feel, is like, if people are a little more like, no, I'm just gonna pick who I'm gonna play these games with and everything, I think that co-op gaming is probably gonna overtake the competitive multiplayer on that point. If it ends up being like Destiny and like a really cool co-op game put together to where the DLC just keeps flowing, I feel like that could be, if there's a game designer out there looking for a very good idea, that's probably your best bet. Is a co-op MMO that just keeps on going. Like World of Warcraft on a console is the idea of that. Not World of Warcraft, the game itself, but like the idea of like, as far as I can tell, I don't play World of Warcraft, but as far as I can tell, the game is co-op. It always has DLC coming out for it. I've seen for years they've been coming out with DLC for it, and I have never heard of World of Warcraft 2. So I'm guessing those packs are just keeping the game going. It seems like on the console that would be the best bet to where we are going. And competitive multiplayer, when it works, it's cool. And that's the reason why I say co-op is probably the better bet for the future, because we're seeing more and more that these games that are competitive multiplayer, they get pushed out just to kind of make money, and the developers are kind of rushing the product before it's done. Now, Battlefield Hardline, I give EA credit. They are, I forget the company that is making it. I know it's not DICE. Sorry, but I can't remember the company off my head that's making it, but they are holding back the release and trying to get the game working 100% fully on good. Again, the other reason why I have Assassin's Creed Unity on here is because it's now the present, because it just came out last night as of this video being made. So, what was I trying to say? Assassin's Creed Unity. Anyways, this is another very, very telling sign of where multiplayer is going. Like I said, co-op, it works. You don't need to have one-to-one precision for the competitive servers for the competitive side of things. I'm sorry, my mind is going a million miles a minute because I'm trying to think of everything that I want to say in this video. But co-op, just as you're seeing there, one guy standing on the stage while the other guy's sitting next to him. They don't have to have the perfect internet connection to be playing this. It helps, but anybody can really sit down and play a co-op game with anybody else, just as long as the internet even halfway works. And that, I feel, it's so much less of a headache than having to have the most absolute high-speed internet, so you can connect with everybody around the world and playing a competitive game. Competitive games are, I mean, I've been playing them forever and a day now, it seems like, and I really do love competitive gameplay. It feels so great to be able to come down to the end, end minutes of the match, have the final kill, and be like, yeah, I did that. I won the game for my team and whatnot, or I beat somebody up so badly that they left the lobby. I love doing the competitive stuff. I'm a competitor through and through myself. I've gotten many championships in sports games and fighting games and all that stuff just because I love to compete so much. Competitive multiplayer on shooters, it's just so much of a pain in the ass that, like I said, it feels like co-op could be really the next step in just like bringing people together, where everybody right now is just trash talking, and there's so much dirtiness between gamers right now. I guess that's how I could say it. Between trash talking, racism, and sexism, and this and that stuff. I mean, it's that's part of humanity, part of how we deal with competitive nature of things. But anyways, so this has been a discussion video. Just me throwing my thoughts down, me bringing up the past, telling about the present, and looking at the future. Of course, if you like this video, it's just me kind of talking about stuff, but hopefully it's kind of enjoying, kind of entertaining. I don't know. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, that like button. Go ahead and share the video around. And of course, what else we got? Links down in the description. You can click on the videos on the screen if you're on your PC, and it'll bring over to that. Wolfell bring it to the main menu, or main page. Twitter up top left hand corner, of course. And last but not least, as always, if you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel, it's going to make sure that you stay tuned for more videos coming soon.